Hello, 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 everyone! And welcome to this Toonkind at 12 FPS called Open Heart Stitchery. I'm Heartless, and I will be playing Gille Treble. I am joined by my two other lovely compatriots. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Audiovisual, Toonkind's local bootleg Sableye. That's my shtick, and I'm sticking to it. I'm here today as Bon Arlo, your local cleric, and absolutely, technically, on paper, not a doctor, but also, they're practically a doctor.
Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hello, greetings, salutations, howdy. I am Whirlwind Mindset, aka Whirl, and I am for once one of your players for the day. And I am playing Bondlock, the funky He-Who ragdoll, who is not doing so hot right now.
So our scene comes up as a wagon pulls up against the curb. In the rain, it's drizzling. Thankfully, it's not pouring. Although Sophocles is not very happy about the rain, considering he's a flaming skeleton warhorse. Gille pays his steed no mind as he very carefully picks up a what probably looks like a wrapped package out of the carriage with an umbrella over top.
A wrapped package bigger than he is tall.
Should probably roll strength for that.
It's a low roll. He doesn't weigh anything.
That's fine. That's a 14.
Yeah, the roll was a 10. You're fine.
Yeah. Gille looks at Stoffles, and then Stoffles starts up again, carrying Sandy off towards Bersel's apartment.
Bye, Sandy.
So that Sandy can go talk to everyone else about how that went. And with the quote-unquote package and Gille left alone, he immediately hurries into the building, carefully carrying Bondlock, who's the package, into the door, which he's just going to try to kick open because he feels like there's no time to actually be polite about this.
Oh dear.
That's a 12.
Audio, how flimsy is Bond's door?
It's not. That's the thing. I feel like you kick the door and there's a dent in it now, and you just hear someone, like, curse on the other side of the door. And from your kicking, you can tell there's at least 2 deadbolts in this door. Good try, kid.
Oh.
Well, you can't really knock. You don't have hands free. That's your excuse.
Can you just let me in, please?
You hear the sounds of shuffling, and very quickly, Bon opens the door, and should I roll anything for them to perceive, or is Gille just bursting in past Bon?
Gille's going to rush in past Bon, carrying, this, you know, you can tell it's a wrapped up person. Wrapped up in like, 2 blankets at least.
Awesome. Like, I mean, are you doing anything? Are you saying anything? Are you just rushing in?
Rushing in, and as soon as he gets past, or if he can get past, place to set someone down. Where?
Bon Bon quickly flips around and points at the bed behind them, and just shuts the door and deadbolts it again.
Gille rushes over to the bed and unwraps Bondlock.
Bondlock is not kind of responding to this. He kind of looks a little dizzy.
Bon is looking at Bondlock. Bon is looking at Gille. Bon is looking at Bondlock.
Hey, Bon, roll perception.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a deception. That's not very good.
No, it's really not, kid.
No.
That's a 23.
Yeah. Bon? Well, for one, you can tell that this is a person, which, congratulations. If you had rolled low, you would have thought that Gille had just brought in some random ragdoll. You can tell that this is a person, and you have no fucking idea how he's still alive.
Awesome, cool. Okay. Bon is immediately, okay, this is go mode. Okay. Bon sees Bondlock on the bed and how he's doing. Bon looks at Gille. Bon ignores Gille for the moment and runs to a closet by the door. And immediately you hear rustling. And then Bon is racing back out with Gille. You would recognize this as a medical kit similar to your own, except where yours is more basic, this one is more... This one, like, if yours is a basic one, this is like yours like 3 times over. It is a heavy-duty medical kit. And there's like even a like little tiny defibrillator sort of thing on the side.
What?
Look, Bon isn't fucking around.
Bon, tell me what to do.
Okay, kid. Who is he? Who are they? What do I need to do?
This is Bondlock.
Okay.
What do I need to do?
You're gonna be my hands, kid. We're working with limited space. The rug by the door, unroll it, go in the basement, get me out 2 cots, and bring them back up.
Gotcha.
And there is in fact a rug over by Bon's work table, which is behind where you are probably standing. Feel free to...
Do I need to roll perception to see that, or...
It's a big rug. It's a big rug. It's a noticeable rug.
Okay, good.
It's a very visible rug.
Okay, so Gille's going to immediately follow those instructions, turn around, unroll the rug, and attempt to go into the rug, because apparently that's what's happening now. Don't question it, too logic.
So this is actually from the, Glorps, and it is in fact, you unroll it and it looks like a set of stairs. So you walk down it and there is in fact a basement, and it has a lot of things in it. But if you want to do a quick perception roll,
sure,
just to see, it's not that high of a roll, but just for fun.
Cool. 17 plus 1.
You absolutely see like these folded up cots, and they're not super big. I would honestly suggest taking them one at a time, though, because it's not a very wide stairwell you're going up and down. But yeah.
I'm gonna roll wisdom to see if... yeah. No, it's fine. He rolls a 15, so he is actually going to take one at a time. Should I make a strength roll for this?
No, they're light. They're meant to be, like, easily maneuverable and stuff like that.
Okay. So Gille's going to pick one up and easily move it up the stairs.
Yeah, and Bon actually, like, the middle of their apartment is actually, like, pretty wide open, so you can pretty much just set them out. And Bon gestures for you to put one basically in front of the door, and then gestures for you to set the other one aside.
Mm-hmm.
And Bon points to the cot that you have just set up next to the bed, and Bon says, "This is going to be where we put any spare stuff. It's basically our work table right now, okay?"
Okay.
Bon is looking over Bondlock, and it's a very serious expression on this bird's face. And what they actually do next is they have a nightstand and stuff next to their bed. They quickly move those aside, so you guys have more maneuvering space.
Mm-hmm.
And what Bon is going to do actually is Bon is going to look at Bondlock and is going to basically start checking him over and like testing how aware he is. So they very lightly like do a snap in front of his face, so he can like test if he can hear and comprehend that Bon is making a noise in front of his face.
His expression is still a little blank. Actually, roll me insight real fast.
Yeah. Natural one.
Damn.
Oh,
Take
God.
advantage. This is supposed to be your job. God damn it, Dice Parser.
Dice Parser said, "What? Bon? Okay, that's a dirty 20. Here we go."
There you go. Okay. Dice Parser, stop being an asshole. Anyway. Pretending that nat one didn't happen. Bon, like, when you snap your fingers in front of his face, he does react. Like, he blinks and he looks up at you, and there is something wrong. Your first thought would be shock, but it isn't like the typical symptoms of shock, because, you know, I googled those last night, and Bondlock's reaction is different. But, it almost looks... The term that comes to mind is shut down, because he is reacting, he is responding, he's aware of what's going on around him, but only just enough that if somebody talks to him, he can talk back.
All right, Gil. Where did you pick the Bondlock up from? Gil, I need to know. I don't care. I just need to know where he came from.
I took him from that fucking theater. I stole him.
That's nice, Gil. Can you tell me what state he was in? Was he this bad whenever you first found him?
I asked Sandy to pick him up. Yes. When I saw him, he's
Bond's expression twists a little at the mention of Sandy, but they don't say anything about that. Okay.
I didn't know it was going to be this bad.
It's fine, Gil. You go. Calm down.
Right.
You need to be my hands right now, okay? You can be angry later, right? And we can talk about it if you want. I don't know. But right now we're going to get Bondlock stable, and it's going to be okay. Can you follow my direction?
Yes.
Okay. There's a big hole in his chest, and it looks like something was supposed to be in it. What is that?
His heart. Bondlock. Do you still have the bag that I gave you to hold?
He nods, and he reaches into the bag at his side, and he probably shouldn't be doing that, because you can see a couple of the stitches pulling loose as he does, but he pulls the bag out of the...
Bondlock, stop.
Yeah. Bond's gonna stop him physically, like very gently, like, no.
Okay, I do have to ask, do you actually set a hand on him?
Probably literally just the very tips of their fingers, basically.
Okay, I need to make a wisdom save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up Dungeon Master's Vault, because I'm an idiot, and I forgot to pull it up.
It's okay.
The world has no brain cells. Okay, wisdom. Okay, that's fine. That's a +8, even if I do have to do it at disadvantage.
You get a +4 to that. It's a wisdom save, and Gil is right there, and he's got Aura of Protection.
Okay, so that's fine either way round.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a flicker of anxiety that goes across his expression, but he kind of just stops.
It's okay. It's okay, Mom. It's okay. You don't have to get your heart out, okay? Just need to know where it is.
So Bondlock is okay without it? In him currently.
Can I actually take the opportunity to answer this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of looks back up at you, Bond, and he did actually manage to take out the bag that has his heart in it from his pocket before you stopped him. And he looks back up at you, he blinks, and then very calmly says, "We can last without our heart for approximately 5 days at a time."
Okay. You hold on to that then, if it's safe where it is. Bon is alright. Bon is cataloging everything that is wrong with Bondlock. So Bondlock has the big gash in his chest, where his heart was taken out, and the potion soaked in there. His leg is partially coming off.
No, one of his legs is all the way off.
Is off.
All the way off. Okay. So first things first, Bon is probably going. Bon is looking at that, and while Bon is again still cataloging everything that's wrong with Bondlock, Bon looks at Gil and says, "Okay, we're gonna have to sew his leg back on. Get me there's thread in there, there's a needle, go ahead and get it threaded. Too long of a thread, we can take it in sections if we need to." Okay?
Okay.
So we have short-term damage, long-term damage, whatever the potion is, heart, sensitivity, overwhelmed. Can't turn the lights off.
Gil is having a time threading that needle.
He's struggling. He is struggling.
He's not. He's not angry right now. He's very concerned. He's shaking as he's trying to thread this needle, and he keeps glancing over at Bondlock, and he pricks his finger, as he's trying to get the thread through the needle.
Bon is going to look over at him and very carefully put a hand on his shoulder, and they're going to look at him and say, "Gil, can you take a deep breath?"
I'm fine.
I sincerely doubt that, but for right now, I have to trust you, okay? It's just a needle. It's just some thread. Okay?
Roll advantage. Okay, that's so much better. 18 plus 2.
On
So-
encouragement.
After you talk with him, he gets it his first try and threads it through and carefully knots the end so the needle doesn't come loose, and then hands the needle to Bon carefully.
Bon is going to hold this needle, and Bon is going to look at Bondlock and say, Bondlock, can you hear me?
Yes.
How much pain are you in right now?
1 second. I have to, once again.
Remember, +4.
Plus 12. 29 to 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the problem with that, though, is in light of the fact that A, new sensation, B, negative new sensation, and C, a lot of negative new sensation, the DC was over 21. And he blinks, and despite being, like, pretty much, it seems like almost forced calm and monotony, he stutters and asks, on what scale?
Okay. This is good. This is great. We're doing great. Awesome. Okay.
Look, he doesn't have a way to measure pain right now, so he's like, he doesn't know how to tell you.
Yeah.
Without spiraling.
Bon is, are you Hassan?
We don't know.
Yes.
Okay. He's Hassan? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, functionally,
Bon
he's
looks
rubber
at the
hose,
needle
but...
and...
Oh, well, excuse me, you didn't tell me that.
I mentioned it a few times.
He said he was of Hassan make, though.
Yes, his creator was Hassan. He is not.
Okay, so, Gille says that, and then he shakes his head like, no, he's rubber hose.
Okay. Okay. So the problem with currently putting his leg back on is he's overwhelmed. Okay, he hasn't gone quite into shock yet, but I'm worried that if we try to start sewing, do you know if anesthesia will work on him?
I don't, but he doesn't know how to sleep.
Okay. Okay. We are going to shelve the needle for now then, and Bon is going to actually, it's a sewing thing where you can basically put the needle, like, in your clothes, like you would a pin, and Bon is going to do that and basically pin the needle to their shirt.
Oh, hey, I've done that.
And they are going to give Bondlock another look over and glance at Gille and... Okay, so there's an unknown potion where his heart should be, and you stole him from a theater. Do you know anything about the potion? Do you know anything about...
Potion?
The circumstances?
Fuck.
Take a second.
I know a little bit.
Okay, what can you tell me?
Bondlock, is it okay if I tell Bon?
And he looks at you and sort of tips his head to the side and says, "We have no opinion." It's about as close to an okay as you're gonna get, my dude.
Mm-hmm. Gil probably should know that by now, but he tried. So I well, very complicated, long story. I found these memories.
Okay.
And they told me that Bondlock was created by some inventor. I can't remember his name right now.
That's
Dawson.
fine.
Bondlock actually does pipe up and mention his creator's name. His name was Eric Dawson.
Yeah, that's it. And Bondlock was gifted to a woman named Clara. And a lot of things happened. I'm going to skip past that part because it's not really relevant right now.
The potion, the circumstances in which you found him in.
I don't know about the potion.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a potion. Fuck. The Bondlock told me sometime, maybe a couple weeks ago, that whenever he... And Gil holds up his hands and does quotation marks, acts up. Acts out of character. That theater sends him to a half-Mara called Kyle. And Kyle breaks him.
Bondlock flinches pretty hard at the mention of that, but other than that, shows no reaction.
It's okay, Bondlock. You aren't going back to that fucking half-Mara.
Whirl, should Bond roll history to if they recognize Kyle?
You can go ahead.
Yeah.
That is the question. Did the ECCR release that name to the news?
Oh, this is actually for a different reason.
Oh, well.
That's an 8.
I mean, you can roll with advantage given your background if you'd like, but if you'd like to just keep it at an 8, that's also fine with me.
I'll roll with advantage just to see what it gives me.
An 11.
Right, that's an 11. Ron isn't really in the pursuing line of question mode right now. And Dice Parser said no.
I can tell you a little bit. The name rings a bell. You've heard of this character. You don't really know what he does, but you do know that he comes up a lot in, shall we say, conjunction with somebody else you know of.
Okay. Bon is taking that and Bon is grimacing and they just okay. They that's all they need to know.
And when I got him far enough away, I tried using Cure Wounds. The first spell worked, but it didn't work so well. The second spell didn't work. I tried this morning. Nothing.
My guess is sometimes stuff like this just can't be fixed entirely by magic. You brought Bondlock to me. That's the best thing, Gil. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Whirl, I'm asking this partly because we didn't exactly plan out that idea of how do you think Bond should go about handling this exactly? What order of events do you think Bond should take?
Shit,
because we've discussed the damage.
This. Yeah,
it's okay.
For this, but we forgot. I did say that you weren't going to have to roll for it, so because, this is your job, and also the dice are mean to you.
Is Bondlock scared?
He's more overwhelmed than anything, right?
He is overwhelmed. He's been overwhelmed by sensation to the point where, yes, he is scared, but there is so fucking much on top of it that he's just kind of shutting down. And just in an effort to keep himself capable of speech if necessary, he's kind of gone blank for the moment.
So, do you think casting heroism on him would help?
What does that spell do?
A willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to my spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of their turns.
I mean, if we want to go that route, Bond has calm emotions.
I'm just saying, Gille might try that right now. Because if... I should probably roll insight, shouldn't I?
I mean, I will say something like that if we reflavor it in this specific context, because we are working in kind of the dark ages of things D&D did not plan for. Because D&D is not a surgeon simulator.
We're at least 1940s level of stuff.
Yeah. What I mean by dark ages... But what I mean by dark ages D&D didn't plan for, I mean, there is no rules about this kind of stuff. And really, we should have planned for it.
You go to sleep for 8 hours and your broken leg is fine.
Yeah, basically. And that doesn't make any goddamn sense. But, I will say that using heroism would probably act as a way to, even if Bondlock did get freaked out, that would help him avoid the panic well enough to not spiral. And audio. To answer your original question, because we have gotten far off of that.
Fine.
You kind of had the right idea. Right now, the best thing to do would be to get him as put together as possible, figure out what the fuck that potion does to see if putting his heart back is safe, and, kind of assess the damage and see essentially what can be done in terms of treatment, because some of this you're not sure you can fix.
So in the similar vein, go ahead.
Gille's going to pipe up and remember, Bondlock said yesterday that usually he doesn't feel, but he feels and he tastes now. That's weird.
Okay.
I will note that you can ask him if he knows what the potion did, but...
It's... Bond isn't used to their subjects being coherent at this point. Their patients being coherent at that point. The legs off, inks everywhere, people are screaming. Bond, fix this. So, this is a little bit new territory for them. I'm sorry, Bondlock.
You're valid. He's used to being treated like an object.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, God.
I'm not treating him like an object. Gille, remember that Bondlock told him that Bondlock's not going to be very responsive.
I know.
So
I'm teasing you.
Yeah. Okay. So, unfortunately, okay. I'm going to assume then that Bondlock has no pain tolerance and currently is... Oh, okay. Gille in there is, Well, there's something for Bondlock to bite on to. I have a feeling that if he isn't used to pain, I don't know if ANGST is just going to work, and at the rate we're going, we're probably just going to have to be working as fast as possible. Bondlock.
Yes?
Okay. Gille is going to get something for you to bite down on, because at some point I'm going to have to start sewing your leg back on, okay?
All right.
And before I do that, I have some questions. Is that okay if I ask you a few questions?
We will do our best to answer.
Okay, you're doing amazing. Gille
Yes.
is if you would get that out of the bag, get me the rest of the thread, maybe a second needle. How good are you at sewing?
I'm alright. He gets the items out of the bag, and I'm not going to roll for him threading the needle again, come on!
Please don't. Let's be real. Okay, you're going to be helping me sew Bondlock's leg back on, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Bondlock, what can you tell me about what happened to cause these? What can you tell me about the circumstances involving the removal of your heart and the application of this potion?
Let me roll history, because as much as he's doing his best, his head's a little addled right now.
Yeah.
So I need to see how ominous this sounds.
I took a drink. I'm good. I only choked a little.
Okay, that's an 11. So he kind of blinks and he looks a little confused for a second, but then he tries to focus and clear his head. He said, "If you want to be a person so badly, take everything that comes with it. Then he... No, it was out by that point, wasn't it? Yes, we had taken he had taken our heart out beforehand, and then the red one, but not the other red one. Not that one, the other one. And then... And he blinks, and the sort of glowing spirals of his irises flash momentarily purple instead of blue. And he flinches, and he mumbles, "Felt like we were on fire. We didn't even know what that felt like before then, but it's the only explanation."
It's okay, Bondlock. You've answered more than enough. Okay. Okay. Gille, can I have for Bondlock to bite down onto? It's like a thick piece of leather. There was one made of metal with singe, melty look to it. Don't question that one.
Yeah,
We all know who Bond's boss is.
Yeah, Gille definitely picked up the leather one, and he hands it to Bond.
Okay. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt a lot. I'm making assumptions here, but I feel like they're very good assumptions. Can I put this into your mouth for you to bite down onto?
And he nods.
Okay. Gil has his threaded needle. Bond has their threaded needle. They very carefully put this piece of leather into Bondlock's mouth, and they turn to Gil, and they're like, "Okay, let's work fast." I don't know if you want to make us roll anything.
I'm going to roll medicine at advantage because Gil's going slow.
Okay. Bond will also roll medicine then. Just
For consistency's sake.
That's a dirty 20. Okay.
That's valid.
I'll stick with the dirty 20.
+1 and a 16 +1. That's not bad.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. I feel like that works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess Bond puts Gil on one side of Bondlock's leg, and they put Bondlock's leg into position and very quickly explain to Gil, they're like, we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to work our way up, okay? Because if we start from the top, trying to work to the bottom is going to be annoying as hell and require a lot more moving. And frankly, in the state he's in, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You can do this, Gil.
It's fine. It's just like sewing up my own arm. It's fine.
Okay. And they fucking just go at it, I guess. I don't really want to describe it. I'm gonna be honest. They sew the leg back on. Leg back on.
Very careful surgical stitches.
Very, very carefully. Very carefully, but also relatively quickly, in the manner of speaking of, it's not the quickest, but it's not certainly they're taking their sweet time. And they sew the leg back on. And there you go. Yeah. Bondlock has 2 legs again.
Yay! And it is probably a good thing that you gave him something to bite down on. Do either of you want to roll me perception?
Sure. Absolutely. We will roll perception. This is fine.
Oh, wow. That's a 19 +1.
That's a dirty 20. Mm-hmm. And that's another dirty 20. I just want you to notice this. Okay, so, like I said, good thing you gave him something to bite down on, but also it seems like he was apparently prepared, because you hear, like, the start of a muffled shriek when you go to actually start sewing, and then there's, like, a flash of red, and, basically a line of glowing red X symbols appear over Bondlock's mouth, and he has cast the spell Silence on himself.
Okay. All right. We don't have time to address all of this.
No, we don't.
Okay. Bond very carefully takes the needle from Gil once he's done, and it, along with their own needle, gets tucked back onto their shirt just in case. And all right. Oh God, Gil. All right. Bond is going to very, very tentatively look at Bondlock and say, Bondlock, can I take the piece of leather out of your mouth now, or would you rather I keep it in?
And he kind of seems a little more in his own head at the moment, but he nods anyway, because he can keep himself quiet if he needs to. It's fine.
I don't like that, but okay. Bond doesn't like that either. I'm gonna be real here, folks. But they very tentatively take the piece of leather out of his mouth and set it onto the cot and not back into the bag, because that's gonna have to get sanitized, you animals. Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. because one of the neighbor's dogs is going off in the apartment, and Bond looks annoyed. Um, okay. Brief interlude as the dog and the neighbor has a fight, and it's not actually the dog and the neighbor, it's Heart's dog, but that's okay because it's a very good dog.
We love Heart's dog.
How is Bondlock doing?
Not great, Chief. Not great.
No.
Like, he doesn't scream. To his credit, he does not immediately start screaming. But he kind of has to take a minute, and his breathing is very shaky, and he squeezes his eyes shut, and he is obviously doing everything within his power to not fall apart at the seams. Whether that's literal or not is up to you. But he does actually like try to smile at you and very quietly says, "Thank you for helping."
Don't worry about it, kiddo. Okay. Gille is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I had the right idea with bundling him up. I figure there's not much we can do for anything lower than the waist at the moment. We should honestly focus on the chest, figure out the deal with the chest, and then okay, we're gonna have to get him acclimated. That'll be a problem for about 20 minutes from now, I suppose, depending. Okay, my bed is made. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap him up until his upper half is the only thing exposed. That way we can just make sure he stays in one piece, and we're going to give him an examination and figure out what the hell is up with his chest. Because right now that's my second major concern.
Yeah. Gille's going to kind of woodenly start very carefully basically tucking the blanket he'd carried Bondlock in with around him, around his legs.
Bond is going to assist, and basically, Gille, you wrap Bondlock around the blanket you brought him in with, and then Bond takes their big, fluffy comforter that Bondlock is laying on and wraps him like a burrito up to the waist in that as well.
Blanket burrito.
Yep. It's just swaddle the baby. Does Bondlock react?
Not really. Like, you kind of get the impression he's used to being manhandled for different purposes than this, so he's just kind of, okay, this is what we're doing. This is nicer than usual. Okay.
Bless his heart. And, okay.
This boy has never met an autonomy in his life.
Yeah. That's a problem for the next FPS.
Yep.
Okay. So you're no longer falling apart at the seams, more or less. And Bond walks over and grabs the chair that is tucked into their desk, and they pull it out, and they go and they sit it next to the head of their bed. And they look at Gille, and they very gently put a hand on his shoulder and say, "Okay, Gille, why don't you sit down?"
I'm fine.
Okay. Are you, can you sit down for me?
Fine.
Thank you, Gille.
Where?
It's Bond just put a chair basically right next to the head of the bed, so basically right next to Bondlock.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that chair. Okay, so
Yep.
he's just gonna sit down in that chair then.
Yeah. Bond looks at them both, puts the hands on the hips for a second, and then they scrub their face a little, and then they go, Okay, Bond. So, heart can be removed. Yes? Heart's fine?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Gille,
Yes.
you found him in a theater. You took him from a theater. Excuse me.
Yes.
Where he had been. I'm not going to make the bold assumption that he was working there, quote unquote, willingly.
He was sold by Clara.
Excellent. That's the association gives away less than desired things.
Yeah, that's why I decided to steal him. Because
Good on you.
that doesn't sit right with
No, it isn't right, Gille. Bondlock.
Yes.
Okay. Bondlock, how long have you had these? How long have you been like this with the potion specifically? We'll start there.
And he blinks, he swallows and says, approximately 3 days now.
Okay, so that's 3 days with the potion, or 3 days with your heart out?
3 with the potion, and 4 with our heart out. Oh, that's probably not good.
No. Okay. Unlock. I have a question for you, and you can tell me no, okay?
Okay.
Can I look at your heart? I will not touch, but can I look at it?
And he blinks for a second, and Gille, he actually looks to you as if he's kind of asking if this person can be trusted.
I trust him. Fuck. That's why we're here.
And he nods, and then he turns to Bon and says, Okay.
Do you like Gil to help you get your heart out, or would you rather do it yourself?
I can do it.
Okay.
And he opens the bag and takes the heart out.
Okay. Does Bon have to roll perception on the heart?
Would you like to, or would you rather not let the dice bully you?
Let's do a I'll roll perception at least just to see what it gives me, and maybe the dice gods will be kind. Okay, that's a nat 20. We're good.
We're good.
Dice god said, "Hell yeah, funky owl, let's go."
Okay, what are you trying to perceive exactly?
Just what they've never seen this heart before. They have no idea what they're looking for. So basically, it's a Bond is only going to look. So Bond is trying to get as much information as possible just from looking.
Right. Okay. So, because you ruled perception, and perception can apply to all 5 senses, and that's lovely, let's see. Well, visually, it's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
There are places where it has clearly been torn, where it was stitched back together with admittedly a lot more careful hand than the rest of him, but not by much, man.
Mm-hmm.
There is some kind of light that is coming out through the thinner fabric and through different, like, basically like the openings of the arteries on the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of gives a bit of empathic sensation because you rolled a nat fucking 20. You can actually sense some of his emotions through the sort of vibes that that light is giving off of.
Mm-hmm.
And there are feelings of being terrified, of being overwhelmed, of being exhausted, of being confused. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also, the last thing you would probably notice is that there is a smell. And it's actually the same as
Mm-hmm.
the smell of the potion that has been sort of faint because it's soaked into the cotton inside his chest at this point. But the heart itself has a stronger smell to it. And hey, Bon, roll me history at advantage.
Yep. Okay, let's do that. Let's not put it as a minus. Oh, that was wrong. God bless me. We're trying our best here
You're doing
tonight
your best.
here in the dice parser. That's already really good. Let's roll. Yeah, okay. 24.
We'll take the 19.
24.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Bon, because of actually the same place that you know, that you vaguely know the name Kyle from, because of the same sort of source, you recognize the smell of one of the elements of this potion. And it is an immediate red flag. Because it is the distinct sort of flowers and ozone smell of the distilled sap of a bleeding lily.
Oh. Bon hates this.
And
Bon hates this. Bon hates that.
If you didn't know that the potion was meant to cause sensitivity before, you certainly know it now. Because that stuff, the way that poison, because that's what it is poison, the way it works is anything that comes into physical contact with it has the nerves hyperactivated to the point where a brush with air is enough to cause agony. And basically what you can suss out from this is that the heart and the stuffing inside of Bondlock's chest are both soaked with a potion that at least partially acts as an artificial nervous system.
Okay. So I don't know if either of you want to roll perception or insight.
I can do that.
I'll roll
Go for
perception
it.
because I got a +1 for perception and a -2 for insight. And
Go
yeah,
for it.
I'll roll insight because I get a +8 to insight.
That's a 23.
11.
All right, Gil, you see Bond look at this heart, and immediately it's a Bond recognizes Bond's feathers all ruffle up in a way that Bond is a bird, and it's very much Bond is trying to make themselves look like bigger. So, from like a bit of the power of the mind, Bond does not like what they see. Bondlock, darling, sweet Bondlock. You look at Bond as they are looking at your heart, and honey, Bond recognizes, and you get to watch the face journey of a bird go through concern, disgust, dismay, annoyance, and then just like very much a Bond looks very much like they know what they're looking at, and Bond looks furiously determined now.
And he's going to, having noticed all this, he's going to his own expression kind of becomes a little concerned and is like, "Are you all right?"
What is it? On.
Well, by technical definition, your friend has been poisoned, in a manner of speaking. So that's what we in the quote-unquote business called less than ideal, on a lot of levels, considering.
Do you think both of our magic could remove the poison, or is it a different situation?
Theoretically, maybe if we had been there on the scene right after. It's been 3 days, and it's been soaking into his heart, which, well, it's not exactly, you can't do a heart transplant with this buckaroo. It's not going to kill him, so that's something. You're gonna live, Bondlock, which is, it's going to be okay. Okay?
He bites back a comment about, "Oh, it couldn't kill us. We're not alive," and just kind of nods.
Bless your heart, Bondlock.
He's out of it right now, but he can tell that this is not the situation for trying to make that kind of quip.
Okay. Gil?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, you did a very good job bringing him to me, okay?
I couldn't right away. I had to make sure that no one else was going to be sent after us.
Okay? You did your best. That's what counts. All right? Unlock?
Yes?
You're going to be staying with me for a while, okay?
Okay.
Because, well, first thing we're going to do, and probably the next thing we're going to do, is I'm going to take a look at your chest and potentially remove some of your stuffing and replace it, because we're going to try and clear out as much of the potion as possible that is already soaked into you, okay?
Okay.
And we aren't going to put... We will consider putting your heart back inside, but not until we at the very least replace the stuffing, because you do need your heart in your chest, but also I am worried about potential side effects of reintroducing it to your body, okay?
Okay.
And you're going to be staying with me for a while, and we're going to take care of you, okay?
Okay.
Doing a very good job, okay, Bondlock?
And he smiles. He looks very confused, but he smiles and says, "Thank you. We're trying."
You really are, kiddo. Okay. All right. Gil, if you want to run back down into the basement, there should be spare bags of stuffing.
Yeah.
Just
Gil
go.
immediately goes.
Yeah.
He just immediately goes.
Yeah.
As soon as you said there are extra bags of stuffing in the basement, he gets up from the chair and goes back into the basement.
And Bon is going to look at Bondlock as Gil runs off to do that and says, "Is it safe to take your stuffing out of your body, or does it cause problems?" Immediately.
No, it should be safe. It happens all the time. We don't know what it will. And he looks uncomfortable with saying the term feel, because he still does not like that he's able to feel things, but eventually he, bites it out and says, "We're not sure what it would feel like, but we've done it before and there's been no complications."
Okay. That's what I need to hear. Would you, whenever Gil gets back, would you like him to distract you while I do it really quick?
And he kind of blinks and tilts his head, and he remembers how when Clara was younger, and the doctors would have to take blood samples, he would tell her a story to keep her distracted while they were poking her with the needles. And it always seemed to help her, and he guesses he's kind of in that position right now, so he nods.
Okay. Gil can distract you, and I'll swap the stuffing out nice and quick, so even if you do feel it, it'll be over before you know it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Gil comes back upstairs.
He has a nice big pillow-sized bag of stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Gil.
He's doing.
All right. He's doing so good.
He's doing his best, and we appreciate him so much.
He's since he's not deceiving very well, he's not talking very much. That means he's not doing very well.
Yeah.
He's doing his best, and we appreciate him.
Bon is going to very carefully take the bag of stuffing from Gil, and they're going to put a hand on his shoulder again, and they're going to... Gil?
Yes.
Can you distract Bondlock while I do this?
Yeah, of course. I know. Yes.
Okay. And Bon actually, before they let you go, Gil, they lean over and they very gently basically headbutt you. It's light enough that it doesn't hurt or anything. It's more like they honestly just lean over and sort of doink their forehead against yours.
Gil very slowly blinks at that. He really doesn't know what to make of it, so he's just gonna turn and go sit back down in the chair.
Yeah, there you go, Gil. Bon's a great parent. This is how you show affection, right? Yeah, you have been bonked. And Bon has talons. They're just gonna rip the bag open, guys. There's no point of scissors. You can tear those things open.
What
was the roll for, Gil?
History.
I mean, that's a 16. What are you rolling? Like, what history do you want to know, Gil? What facts you looking for here, honey?
It's really just him trying to... he's going to, I guess he's going to talk about how the Ghibli Empire came to be, because that's just
amazing.
What's happening.
So Bondlock, Gil is giving you a nice history lesson.
I mean, either of you are welcome to roll insight.
Hell yeah, let's just.
But I will say
for it.
I will say that he is sufficiently distracted. But
awesome.
Whether you notice another thing, that's up to the perception roll or the insight roll.
Insight. I got a 16.
A 16 and a 23. Bondlock doesn't know how to sleep, but he's starting to look sleepy.
Awesome.
Good.
That's good. So I really don't want to make Bond roll for this.
I really guess Gil should have tried just giving Bondlock a history lesson.
Look, his off switch is bedtime stories. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyways.
So I really don't want to make Bond roll for this. So while Bondlock is distracted by Gil, Bond is going to because Bond knows what they're working with potion-wise, Bond is going to get into their medical bag, and they're going to pull out essentially a set of fucking tongs, and they're going to they're gonna walk around Gil really quick and grab one of their metal trash cans that they have in their room, and they're gonna pop the lid off of that and put it next to them, and they are basically any stuffing that has potions soaked into it, they are really quickly tonguing that out of forceps, thank you. Words are hard. They basically start plucking that out of Bondlock very carefully and quickly and sticking it into the trash can.
Valid.
So, yeah. And so, again, because bad potion juju, man, don't touch that. And so, yeah.
I will note that it's actually probably the reason you didn't have to roll, not only because you know what you're working with, but also because something you can tell is this is really old stuffing. Like, it is yellowed and kind of clumping up and stringing in some places, which is kind of nasty because with the red, doesn't look pretty.
Yeah. No. Bond's used to that sort of thing, though. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah. And then Bond just, they have the bag of stuffing ripped open, so they very carefully start restuffing all of the spots where they took stuffing out. And, it takes a minute, but they're working quickly, and it's not that hard to stuff stuff, especially because when it's a person size, you have a nice area to just stick stuffing in. So lickety-split, Bondlock is restuffed with stuffing that is not soaked in death poison.
Yay!
And that's how the long line of emperors.
Bondlock, are you asleep yet?
He's not asleep yet. He still doesn't know how to sleep, but he knows that, that's getting us strong. That feeling is getting stronger. Weird.
Oh, bless his heart. Really, honestly, bless his heart.
There are so many things this ragdoll doesn't know how to do.
And as Bond finishes, they pop the lid on their trash can and like stick it under the cot out of the way. That's something to fuck with later. Probably shouldn't burn it, so they'll burn that bridge when they get to it.
Yeah, no, don't burn that. The fumes would actually wreck your fucking lungs.
Yeah. Which Bond doesn't need because Bond is a bird.
Yeah.
And so as they finish, they reach over and very carefully put a hand on Gille's shoulder and
it's already over? I hadn't even started to talk about the Chihiro any of the festivals.
I'm sure if Bondlock would like to hear some later, he can ask. Right, Bondlock?
And he blinks and nods, and yeah, he looks sleepy.
Okay.
Good to know.
Okay. So, Bondlock,
Yes?
would you like me to try putting your heart back in now, or waiting a bit?
It has been 4 days. We really should probably have it back in sooner or later.
Okay. Now, would you like me to help you with it, or would you like Gil to help you with it?
And he kind of blinks, like confused as to, wait, I have a choice? And then quietly says, I don't mind either way.
Gil, would you rather I help Bondlock put his heart back in, or would you rather put his heart back in?
Gil takes a look at the heart and then at Bondlock, and then he looks up at Bond and says, I would like to help.
Okay. If anything, we can do it together. So there's the least amount of jostling. Okay? So here's what we will do. Bondlock, is it okay if Gil takes the bag with your heart in it?
And he nods. He's kind of fallen quiet, but he nods.
Gil. So what's going to happen is you are going to take the bag with the heart. I'm going to open the bag, and I'm going to take the heart out, and I'm going to hand it to you after you set the bag down. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then I am going to make sure that there's nothing in the way of Bondlock's chest, and you are going to put the heart inside. And because I am a little worried about blowing it up right this second, just to have to take the stitches out later, we are going to, after that happens, we are going to very carefully cover the heart with the fabric there that's left, and then we are going to swaddle him up the rest of the way, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Are you ready, Bondlock?
He nods again.
Bondlock, would you like anything to put in between your teeth if you're worried about that?
No, we can cast silence again. It's okay.
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 You're doing really good, Bondlock. And so are you, Gil, okay?
Yep.
Okay. Bondlock, do you hand Gil the bag?
Yep.
Okay.
Gil's
Do we want
very
to
carefully take it?
Yeah. Do we want to roll anything for this? Do we really?
Let's
Should
say
we?
check the dice. It's an FPS, and I really don't want this to go wrong.
This literally is open heart surgery, guys. We weren't joking about the title.
Yeah.
And we aren't rolling dice for open heart surgery. I love you all very much, but no.
Yeah.
So the order of events occurs as thus. Bondlock, you give Gille the bag. Bond very tenderly opens the bag and takes the heart out. Gille, you probably set the bag aside somewhere on the bed or something, and Bond very
Honestly,
gently.
Mag probably goes back into his hammer space.
Okay, that's valid. And Bond hands you Bondlock's heart, and then they very carefully make sure that everything is out of the way for you to put the heart into. And then do you want to describe it at all?
Gille very, very carefully puts Bondlock's heart back where it belongs. Probably looking at Bondlock the entire time, probably looking up to his face. As he's very slowly moving.
Okay, team. And after Gille has very tenderly put the heart back into place, Bond covers Bondlock's chest back up with the fabric that is left there on his chest. And Gille, you help Bond swaddle this kid up like a baby. And Bondlock, you now have your heart back in your chest and you're swaddled like a baby. And it's actually pretty warm.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay.
You guys are free to roll me one last insight or perception if you prefer, if you like.
Yeah.
Gille's Gille actually, after swaddling Bondlock, he got up and just kind of moved over to the door. Which is why his insight is 2.
Valid. Bond, you actually do notice something with an 18. You actually notice a couple things. One, when Gille put the heart back in, there was sort of a flicker of light that went out from the heart that basically went through Bondlock's entire body. It was like a combination of gold and red and made kind of like, it looked like, you know, a cardiovascular system. Like, it went glowy and it was there and then it vanished, you know. Kind of a, okay, thing is back type recognition.
Yeah.
So this is something that, Gille, it's kind of sad you didn't notice because you would be the one to notice that something was interesting about this. The entire time Bondlock has really been a character, the sort of lights that make up the irises of his eyes have always been spirals. But when he has his heart back, they turn into just plain circles. And he relaxes significantly because, oh, okay, that's back. That feels better. And also, oh, warm. Warm is good. He likes being warm now that he can actually feel temperature.
Okay. Bondlock, are you going to be okay if I leave you swaddled up on the bed for the moment?
Yes, we should be fine.
You feel... Is it better now that your heart is back?
And he nods because, yeah, it's always better when we have it back.
I'm going to go over and turn the lights off so it's less overwhelming for you, okay?
Okay.
Alright. And then I'll probably talk to Gil for a minute, okay? If you need anything, just let us know, all right?
Okay.
Including if anything changes about your condition, okay?
Okay. Thank you for helping us.
Gosh. Fuck, you're gonna kill this bird. Bon nods slowly, and it's like,
Should I roll insight?
yeah, you can. Or perception, whichever you want.
Insight is the one that has a +8, so damn, that's
That's
still
a 13.
13.
I'll give you this. So Bondlock, you know how you have a tendency to, like, reach out and comfort someone, or that urge to, give someone comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You see a trace of that, like, flicker over Bond's face. And it's very clearly like, yes, they, in any other situation, they probably would have, reached out and gave you physical comfort. But it's also very much they know exactly what state you're in, kiddo. They aren't going to touch you. Like, it'll only hurt you, and they don't want to hurt you.
Aw,
And they aren't very good with words, guys. Bond isn't good with words. Yeah, and so they give you that, and they nod at you very, very quietly, and then they very gently tap the bed and says, I mean it. Anything changes, you let us know, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And Bond turns and does the short walk over to Gil and actually flicks off the lights. Bond is standing next to you, Gil, and it's very dark now.
Hi.
Hey, Gil. So, how are you?
I exist. I'm real.
Yeah, you sure do, kiddo. Gil, I don't know if you want to try, like, rolling decks or anything.
Dex save or
Bon
straight
is
dex?
it would probably just be Dex. Bon is going to try and hug you. So it's up to you if Gil avoids it or not.
It's fine. He's going to flinch and try to step away. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How are you, Gil?
Hair set on fire yesterday. I didn't know
Your hair caught on fire.
it was fire. It was
Hmm.
I was so angry. They sent them. How dare that director send them after
Okay.
Sammy, Chifley, and Jay. I didn't want them involved.
Okay.
I didn't know Jay still cared.
Oh, you silly little fledgling. Oh. And on like thunks their head on top of yours. Just like they're tucking you under their chin now, Gil.
Gil kind of probably moves to look up a little, and his eyes are glowing.
I mean, Bond's an owl, man.
Yeah, Bond's eyes are probably glowing too.
Yeah, they're a nice shade of orange. But yeah, Bond does but they have their arms around you, but they also put their wings around you, and they thunk their head on top of yours, very carefully avoiding your nice sharp horns. I'm gonna be real, and they God's kid. Okay. How ignoring whoever Sammy, whoever Chifley, whoever Jay is. I don't care about them right now. Okay? They're whatever. They are not in my apartment right now. They are not the person in front of me. I'm not asking about Sammy or Chifley or Jay. I'm asking about how Gil Treble is doing after he took his little sister and stole a friend of his from a shitty situation and had to help me stitch him back together.
I'm real.
Bless your heart, Gil. You can roll insight if you want. I don't know if you're going to. You can try.
I can try, but I've got a -2, and right now,
yeah,
based upon that 7 I rolled earlier. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. Gosh, Gil, you say that you're real, and Bond just ever so slightly tightens their arms around you, and their wings shuffle a little closer around you. They are trying to physically keep you together.
I almost said it. I didn't.
Yeah? You didn't?
No, I didn't.
That's good.
I instead yelled at them for coming after us.
I feel like that's progress. Better than me having to put both of you back together. That would have been a real pain in the ass, Gil. How would I have fit both of you on my bed? Oh, God. Sandy would have had both of you over her shoulder and probably would have managed to kick my door down.
You know, trying to do that in heels is probably not the best.
No, it isn't.
Because Gil is still wearing his 2-inch heels right now.
Bond has seen stranger shit, man.
And he's in a dress.
He looks amazing, everyone. Oh. Meanwhile, Bondlock in the background is just vibing.
He's vibing. He's half asleep. If he knew how to sleep, he'd be asleep by now because, cozy. But he doesn't know how, so he's just kind of shut off.
He's doing his best.
He's trying.
So you're real.
Real.
You're real. How is that whole physical corporeal form handling there, Buckaroo?
Basically, I'm fine.
Okay. How's that spiritual, mentally, emotional thing going for you?
He just kind of looks up at Bon a little blankly.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just kind of slumps against Bon.
That's so valid, kiddo. Bon is soft and Bon is warm, man. They're a good pillow. Yep. That's what I thought. Okay. Hey, Gil. Do you want to know why I got you that second cot?
You're gonna force me to sleep in it.
I'm not going to force you to sleep in it. I am going to make you lay down. Because the last thing I need is for me to be trying to talk to you, and then it would be a real pain in my ass if you just passed out or anything. Just like the other day, you know? It'll be fine.
I'm fine.
I think you're full of it.
I should probably call Bob or Marcel. Sandy should have gotten there by now.
I mean, you don't have to make the call, kid. I can make the call if you want.
I want to.
Okay.
I should tell them what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And
Sandy.
Bon. Oh, go ahead.
Sandy's not okay. I had to tell her that if she lay down next to Bondlock and went to sleep, she could fight away the nightmares. She didn't want to until I told her that.
Okay, kid. I'll look at me. And Bon peels themselves off Gil slightly so they can, in fact, like look at each other. Mm-hmm. And they're like, look, okay, I will talk to Sandy, okay? You can talk to Sandy, I'll talk to Sandy, okay? Sandy is not going to have to deal with this alone, okay?
Good.
Now, you guys are big into pinky promises, right?
Binding contract. Just like my oath. I made a pinky promise to Psychopomp.
You know, I don't know who Psychopomp is, but
Gil kind of lifts his arm and smacks the holy symbol that's hanging off of his horn, and it clatters against his horn.
I see. Bond doesn't show you their holy symbol, but you know, Bond's a cleric. You can make a couple of guesstimates.
I mean, Gil knows that Bond is a cleric.
Yeah. And Bond is like, can you make me a promise?
Depends on what it is.
Bond, God, Gil, you just sound so tired. Bond is like basically like just sort of like very gently petting your hair. I need you to know this. Like literally, you just sound exhausted, honey. And
honestly, Gil is not fighting it at this point.
Yeah,
He's emotionally exhausted. I realized this after that he probably was holding up the deception for Sandy, but as soon as he sent Sandy off, he just let it all down.
Okay, Gil. And Bon raises a pinky finger. I would like you to promise me that if you need somewhere to go, somewhere to hide, somewhere to be taken care of, and to just sit and deal with the fact that you got emotions, kid, and it sucks. If you need to. No. If you cannot find someone to talk to about this, or just sit with and deal with the horrifying ordeal of being known, you will come hide out at my place.
I mean, I thought that's what I was already doing.
Yeah, but this is a binding contract, and you get something out of this.
That's true. He raises his pinky and wraps it around Bond's feathery one.
They have talons, baby. They very carefully wrap their pinky finger, their pinky talon around yours, and give it a little shake.
Yeah, I promise.
Good. And I promise that no matter what you do or what you say to anyone, as long as it isn't to me, man, because I got feelings too. That's a joke. My door is always open to you, Gil, okay? I don't care if you've pissed off Marcel. I don't care if you've pissed off Bob. I will care a little if you piss off Sandy. I don't care. Anybody else.
I don't know if
my door
piss off Sandy.
No, Sandy would kick your ass, kid. My door is open for you, okay? No matter what.
Yeah. Good.
Now, I'm going to practically throw you on the cot if you don't do it yourself, and you can make your phone call there.
I'm going.
And they do headbutt you a final time as they let you go.
Yeah. All Bond gets is blink, and then he turns and kind of just woodenly goes and sits down on the bed.
And Gil, you can make your phone call. Bon is going to go rifle through a drawer in their desk really quick.
Yeah. Fine. He pulls a receiver out of his pocket. The pocket in his dress is actually pretty small, so it's kind of funny to watch him just take 2 fingers and then pull out a whole receiver for a rotary phone.
It's never gonna get old.
No. And then take 1 finger and start. There are the clicking noises you get with the rotary phone.
So Bond goes into their desk and they pull something out, and it's small enough to fit into their hand. Bondlock, if you want to try rolling perception, you can.
Okay.
Gil, you can also try rolling perception.
I do have a +5 to perception, so that's nice. That's a 6.
That's a nat 1. He is so tired.
That is fair and valid. That's 5. Gil is distracted by phone ringing. The phone is ringing.
Bondlock, darling, honey, you are so tired. All you get is a flash of something gold and silvery before it disappears into Bond's hand. They've clasped their fingers around it. Gil, you also see Bond pull something small and metallically shiny out and put it in their hand. And they walk over to you, Gil, and they stand in front of you.
Gil very slowly looks up. Phone's still ringing.
They offer you a closed fist with their fingers curled down.
Gil just kind of offers his palm upwards.
Gil, Bon basically unclasps their fist, and a key falls into your hand.
Aww.
That'll be better than using my lockpicks.
You can save the lockpicks and my door from getting broken. There's 3 deadbolts on that, kid. You're not getting in without, like, a 20.
I think maybe if I raged, maybe it would have helped, but He just closes his fingers over the key and goes into the opposite pocket that the receiver's coming out of, and into his hammer space. Because there are 2 pockets there.
Yay, dresses
Excellent.
with actual fucking pockets.
I mean, the weirdest thing is the opening to the pocket is very small, but that's his hammer space.
And then Bon walks over and they pull something out of a cabinet, and Gil, it's a blanket, and they fling it at your head.
Yeet.
I'm gonna roll Dex to see if
go for it.
catches it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he does. That's a 17 plus 2.
Yep, it's a Gil, it's a very nice blanket actually. It's like one of those ones that's very clearly like feather stuffed, and it's a nice sort of puffy quilt.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Gil's gonna make his phone call. Does anyone else want to do anything, or should we wrap it up here?
I mean,
Up here.
I don't have anything particular.
Is there anything to do with? Yeah. Bon. I have something for after you do the wrap up. I'll say that much.
Okay. So, friends, thank you for listening to Open Heart Stitchery.
Boy, that was a fun mess, wasn't it?
Oh,
hooray! Gille and Bondlock get to pass out at Bond's place.
After Gille makes the phone call and talks to the rest of the Chaos fam, whoever picks up the phone.
Oh boy.
Which means that Sandy's not getting away with her explanation.
Nope.
Because Gille is going to be like, hey, yeah, you're going to want to keep an eye on Sandy.
Something happened. She rolled a nat 1.
Yeah, she rolled a nat 1 on her wisdom saving throw.
Bless her.
Wait, you want to stop recording?
Yeah. Everybody say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye, listeners!
Goodbye!